Now the supports that will be right behind them offering just that, a little bit of safety. We've seen some great support picks today. Sona even getting into the mix. Seen that over a bit in Korea as well. As we finalize out the bans, Kassadin does find himself a blue side ban. What are they kind of forcing to get out of here on the side of Curse?
Yeah, interesting to see blue side Kassadin ban always. However, Kayle being up right now, there's a couple of different options here for Curse. They're trying to decide which of these very strong champions they don't want to give up. They could leave up everything, go with a throwaway ban, but if you do that, Kayle is pretty much right now considered basically the top pick. Right. If you have any single one pick, yeah, there you go, the top pick for that lane. If you have any single one pick, pretty much teams are always first picking this Kayle. However, that leaves up so many more options. There's Lucian for the bottom lane. There's TF for the mid lane.
Lucian didn't even get picked last game. Crazy.
Elise for the jungle. With Lee Sin being banned out, that's definitely a very high priority. And Curse have also banned out the Nunu for Helios. So we will get to see a little bit more of that champion pool. How deep does it go for Helios?
That's interesting. Curse puts a lot on that, and Nunu does provide that map pressure. Curse knows it, and they feel that Helios can apply that pressure accordingly. That is a ban Nunu. For the last one, the Kayle goes over. Considering the power of those two, we know where Curse's mindset is. They want to be able to control the game. They think the lanes will be all right. Really? Free.
Well, it's interesting that Curse go with this strategy of leaving Kayle open, which is a very obvious first pick for EG, but then they wait a little while for their second picks there. Just kidding, we're back. Darkness.
We're going to be losing LP if we leave champion select now. Can't do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Now Tristana and Elise locked in. We got a hover on Evelyn for Helios at the moment. He's just hanging out while we wait to get you back into the champion select screen. We're still going to paint it for you. A beautiful picture here, some lovely little clouds. Beautiful mountains.
There's a few technical issues, and they are still going through
Eve lock-in. Eve has made her way down the stream here into the picture. There she is.
So the thing about Evelyn now, a lot of people used to build Randuins on her because as their first defensive item, just because it's an all-around amazing item. However, with the recent nerfs to her, I really favor just getting a little bit of health and then turning into a Frozen Heart rather than completing to a Randuin's.
Don't be a bonehead.
That's not going to happen, don't worry. Anyways, Frozen Heart now is definitely one of my favorite items on champions that can benefit from it, like Evelyn, because she thrives when she gets cooldown reduction. And the Frozen Heart attack speed reduction was not touched. It was just the Randuin. So we'll see if Helios goes that route.
Braum is picked up by Xpecial, so they're going to go for the heavy-duty support. Obviously, there are bans on the screen. They are just not shown to you at the moment. Let's see, it's going to be that Ryze lock-in. Coming back on the 4.10. Altec picks up the Jinx as well. Very interesting here. Voyboy is the final pick on that side.
Interesting solo laners here for Evil Geniuses, because you're not quite sure which one is going to go top. I definitely put my money on Kayle right now. Because she would have a pretty good advantage over Renekton, but same thing with Ryze. If they're able to abuse that range early on, then they can actually do just fine against Renekton. And then it's all up to jungler intervention, because that's easily turned around. Any range champion, yes, if left alone, you have that advantage over the melee. However, the melee always has that kill potential, the pressure on you, especially if their jungler comes. That's where it turns dicey.
I would like this Syndra pick, and he does lock it in. Liking that pick because it kind of makes the Kayle focus on using her ult. Once that ult from Syndra goes off, you pretty much know you're dead. It's a call for the Kayle ult right away, so you can kind of force that out.
Yeah, the thing is, if Kayle is not stunned, then it's fairly easy to react and shield that target.
Right.
Because the Syndra ultimate is not instantaneous. You can definitely react to it. You have plenty of time as long as you don't get CC.
Yep.
So we'll see how well InnoX can react to those once they get to the team fight stage. But you don't jump straight to the team fight phase. We'll have to see first if they go to standard lanes. Because that's going to be interesting. Braum, Tristana.
I'm excited. Tristana's always had a different support.
It actually has a lot of all-in potential. So
All the new for 4.10. While the team's loading the game, let's tabulate the votes over at LOLesports.com. And right now, Curse is leading Evil Geniuses with a vote of 58%.
But as always, you can continue to vote by sending your hashtag EGWin or CRSWin to @LOLesports. Just keep on tweeting those, and we will keep updating.
That is correct. Check it out in the score screen down at the scoreboard, as well as the tweets throughout the game. So if you're tweeting kind of like, that was an awesome play, Helios is being a boss, Dominate's being a boss, that may show up, and you may be right on the stream with your name on Twitter. Social media is huge. And you get a lot of ads.
Everybody wants to be
friends.
on the
But the cool spot is being here if you make it to the studio.
Yeah, get a ticket, join the studio audience.
Yep. You get to see matches like we just had the previous two, especially for 4.10. You're here to meet the pros, talk to them about the newest things that they're trying, if they'll kind of give up what you want to hear. You know, we always try to get it out of them on the interview desk, but it's here or there. Sometimes they give us a little bit.
Yeah, plus you can get them to sign your face if you want to.
Absolutely. Right across the forehead. Doesn't cost a thing. Just bring a permanent marker. Loading onto the Rift, face-to-face. About to be a grueling matchup. Evil Geniuses versus Curse. Game 3 is locked and loaded. We are on to the Rift. Poro stash.
Plus you have the opportunity to get yourself a Poro.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Sweeper coming out from both junglers. Sweeper starts. Interesting. We'll see if they do go for those jungle invades. That would signal some lane swaps here. We'll have to see what Curse want to do since EG have 2 ranged solo laners.
Very interesting as I look around these champions played by Evil Geniuses. Pobelter, I'm not too surprised about. He last split had the most, or one of the most unique amount of champions played. But Altec here in 4.10, the first time he's bringing out Jinx. So he's got something up his sleeve, and we know Altec to be an out of the laning phase team fight killer, bringing his KDA up very high. Usually only dies a few times due to his positioning, so something to keep an eye on. But there's a lot to keep an eye on in this game with the picks we've had. Bit of a pressure start here. The Dark Binding hits, but Xpecial, he's big and he has a mustache. It's all right.
Yep, there's Sweeper number 1. Curse do go through with the invade. Looks like they will claim this side of the map for their own. A lot of defensive wards going down. It was a good binding by Krepo. Doesn't get caught, doesn't have to burn any summoner spells for himself.
First time we'll really get to see what this utility/ability power top lane matchup will be like. We've kind of had all tanks going face-to-face today, but this has been the bird's the word. AP tops, what's going on?
Well, let's see here, because Curse have actually claimed this side of the map. Usually indicates that their AD carry and support will go top for that swap. And then the question arises, what happens with this early dragon? Because Evil Geniuses have been the ones that have been trying to stop it, but they're the ones who actually have control of it for the beginning of this game. And it's up to Curse to actually make something happen. Usually it's been a roaming support to try and come deal with that early dragon, because it is worth more money. You don't want to just give it away.
Oh, see what they do. Like you said, worth more money if they can make some quick moves in the game. Because we had a pretty late dragon, I'd say, last game, but that also was attributed to the standard laning phase. A little bit of movement here onto either side of the jungle. We see that Helios is making his way in with InnoX right now. The buddy system back in for 4.10 still.
Yeah, and it's funny because, yes, Kayle is an amazing top laner, but Kayle is also used as a jungler fairly often.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Definitely at home in this buddy system jungling style that has come up. Plus, she has great utility even if she doesn't get that early farm. Yes, you'd love to have your late game Kayle,
right,
have the extra very high source of damage, but even if she has a slow start, as soon as he hits level 6, is going to have that very big impact as long as the timing is there for the ultimate.
Doing a great job of keeping each other up in HP and kind of microing that damage back and forth. Could be towards the bottom lane, but yeah, we got pings towards the middle.
Coming up on that 3-minute dragon here. So what is going to be the response from Curse? EG actually don't even try to start it up. A little walk down here, this adventure by Xpecial halfway down was enough to scare them off. But once he shows back in lane, they know that they have a tremendous advantage down on that bottom side of the map.
So interesting from Krepo.
Numbers definitely heavily in their favor.
Krepo just back and forth through mid, soaking up experience. This is solo now for Altec in the bottom lane, shared by Cup and Xpecial. See how they use this. That could make, you know, Altec bigger if they try to go for Dragon. but he's not really the one that's diving in.
Yeah, so far for Evil Geniuses, when they've been winning, Altec has been hard carrying for them. He has the highest KDA for any AD carry in the entire North American LCS.
Yep, third most kills.
He performs extremely well, and least deaths.
That's
where that KDA comes from.
Yep.
He performs extremely well in those team fights specifically. So they're very happy, actually, to have that trade. Jinx and Tristana both scale very well. It's not going to be too much of an issue there. But the real surprising thing is that Evil Geniuses haven't gone for that early dragon, even with Xpecial showing back up in the top lane. Now that he has left the top lane, Pobelter has to play a lot more safe, as you can see, hugging his turret, and this 3-man squad of Curse just wastes a lot of time there. Doesn't get anything done on him except zoning him away from creeps. So they will delay as well the scaling of the Ryze, which is always what you want to do when facing him.
Both teams have a bit of scaling, so they're happy to get to the late game. Cop will be there on Trist, Pobelter will be there on Ryze. Not a push by the bottom lane or the top lane, so these AD carries are looking to farm for a while.
Yeah, Evil Genius is playing extremely safe. They don't want to risk going for the early dragon because yes, it's a great boost of gold, and it will get you off to a really good start. However, it's definitely dangerous, and we've seen a lot of teams get caught out doing that. You pretty much have to juggle the aggro of the dragon back and forth so that you don't take damage from it this early on, because it does so much. They do pull the trigger here, timing it with the back of Syndra. This is where Evil Geniuses, they're still playing safe.
Yeah.
Now they have the confidence to go for this, even though they are messing up the aggro jungling a bit there. They time it with the back of the mid laner so that they're 100% sure that it's a safe move.
Well, they're remembering last time when
Patience pays off for them.
Came in and started getting kills. Xpecial, he gets hit by the binding. That's a very dark follow-up there. There's no vision on that other side. Right now they're getting that vision, and it looks like they can keep going by their rights. They start to back out. A little false sense of security here as Voyboy. Very nice damage across Krepo and Helios, or just the scout of the week.
Yeah, that was just a taste of what Syndra can do to this team. Very nice grouping up of that stun. However,
45 to 25.
Evil Genius is finally pulling the trigger, you know, playing that safe and steady game here. Now they do get that boost. They'll have the timer. Both teams should actually have an estimation of the timer for the next dragon, though. And we'll see if Curse can actually get in position quicker for the next one.
And who can make himself more useful out of that top lane? 14 and 6 CS right now. It's going to be rough. It's what we usually see. But how are they going to work it in 4.10, especially for Quas on Renekton? It's different for Renekton.
Yeah, Renekton, he doesn't have an ultimate that's pretty much all utility. However, he has an ultimate that provides a lot of combat effectiveness. Whole bunch of HP, even though it was nerfed early on, the early ranks of it not providing as much as before, it's still definitely beneficial for that team, whereas Evil Genius is going to have to rely on blocking damage rather than soaking it up.
Let's see what Dominate can get out of aggression here. Something we've seen, not a lack of, but definitely less from Helios. The standard lanes have kind of put him in the buddy system, but usually Helios has been in the face of somebody already, making something happen.
Yeah, especially on the games where he is Lee or Elise.
Right.
He has not hesitated to go fight the other jungler over and over again. Evelyn is actually a very good champion for doing that as well, because she can get the initiative when fighting in the jungle. She has the advantage over pretty much every jungler if you find your opponent fighting a camp, because they're using their spells on the camp, and that means less damage that will be available to them when they fight you. Let's see how this circle around mid goes, though. 4 versus 4. AD carries still farming Sard lanes.
You see what kind of pressure Voyboy and the rest of the composition provide there. Just scatter the weak, puts Ryze, or rather Pobelter, back on his heels, and they can't even get close to dominate Cocoon, and the rest of the team's ready. Here's Helios with that aggression, finally.
Yeah, so this is actually the opportunity for Curse to get 3 buffs second time around. Quick smite there, is able to snag it. Helios does not get his smite off in time.
So EG still trying to make moves. Top turret could go down quite soon, and that would mean Cop is on the move.
Yeah, good teleport in here for InnoX, trying to collect some extra experience. It is that time for him. Quas did the same thing, though. All he had to do was walk down to the bottom.
Ooh.
Prediction binding there. It wasn't as bad as it looked. He predicted a dodge from Voyboy. Just a little bit too far wide there. from Krepo.
Pobelter feeling a bit of the pain with a Negatron Cloak. First buy in mid, 30 CS down there. And that's where you can see Krepo's been helping, or trying to help. Helios has been kind of in the buddy system and hasn't been able to help. And Voyboy, he's having real fun in mid now.
Yeah, the story here for Curse is going to be, Quas, or InnoX actually takes a good chunk from Cop, who is a higher level. So even though it's technically what would be a solo laner
that
versus
could have been
an
great
AD carry, Cop definitely has a huge advantage here.
If they can get those concussive blows to lock on, InnoX was not 6 yet.
Right, so this is why I was saying this is potentially a kill lane, Tristana plus Braum. Tristana can be an all-in AD carry, as we've seen from Complexity,
Robert.
not hesitating to rocket jump into the fray. When you have this type of level advantage as well, should give him the confidence to do that. However, we always talk about how Cop is not the AD carry that's aggressive and will make those solo moves.
Right.
He's much how Reckless used to play, where Reckless, he said he would wait for his opponent to make a mistake and then capitalize on it. That's the same mentality that Cop has always had. However, Reckless is trying to change that strategy, and Cop as well, at times, has tried to change it and be more of an offensive AD carry.
You got to have that switch. You got to be versatile. Turn it on, turn it off. I mean, I think Cop out of most AD carries. Oh dear, that turret goes down a little faster than I think Quas thought. He uses one slice without the dice, and he's in safety.
So both AD carries, though, since they've been hard farming this entire time, have not gone back to purchase. They still do very low damage. So even though Quas does get caught in the combo, there's no items there to back up the catch, and he is able to escape safely. Since they also both got very easy laning phase, both of these AD carries will most definitely be going for the Infinity Edge late game build, trying to combo their early Infinity Edge with some crit. Oh, Tristana actually Cop fills a whole Blade of the Ruined King with his first purchase back.
Yep.
So maybe he will, changing up his style, because this is definitely has a lot more opportunity for Cop to make plays. Blade of the Ruined King is not the passive build. That would be the Infinity Edge rush, have a passive in the early game. Cop now definitely has the opportunity for those all-ins, especially since Jinx has not actually been able to complete the Infinity Edge.
Scrying Orb as well from Altec, quite early on this one. He gets himself that vision out, looking to hit some rockets possibly in the end, or some good zaps if the vision wears off. Pobelter clears out mid, 7 seconds on the Dragon, and that is already foreshadowed by Curse.
Let's see if this build difference does really come to be a factor here. I guess it won't, because EG with their jungler top are conceding this Dragon. So they probably won't even fight this. They know that their AD carry is going to be weaker since Cop's got his Blade of the Ruined King. So they just send Helios top to try and trade Dragon for farm against Quas. The turret, very, very high HP though, so it will take a very long time for them to actually equalize the objectives. Whereas Cursed, wasting no time.
They've been in really good position every time they're moving down a lane. We saw them take mid and then take top right after. Just a few minutes later, they're putting damage on the second tier turret in the mid lane. They got 4 there to do it. Now drawing all that pressure back, they're getting collapsed on. I don't think Helios can do much with that, though.
Circling around behind is very dangerous at this point. Now, the difference between these squads right now is that Evil Geniuses have a lot less crowd control. Curse are bringing so many different options here to stun up the members of Evil Geniuses that are, taking time to build their damage. Helios barely gets his blue.
Fighting that out.
But yeah, especially Pobelter, if he gets caught out early, since he was denied a lot of farm, right now he's in a very, very squishy state if he gets stunned up by really any of these options here.
And his backs really haven't not been the greatest, but he's unfortunately not had a ton of money. Always piecing things together. It's helping, but I know he'd love to finish one of those up. Item threshold of Athene's already reached out by Voyboy.
Yeah, still going with that item because they're against not only a double AP comp here with the Kayle plus Ryze, but also a hybrid jungler, a lot of ability power damage coming from Evelyn. So if Curse are able to focus Altec, and if they ever get one of these Syndra stuns or cocoons onto Altec and they take out that physical damage source, they can easily just all itemize magic resistance, as we're seeing here. Very early magic resistance from Curse. and just focus their damage onto Altec, who's this very low mobility AD carry unless she gets a kill. If they take out that threat, then it's a very efficient build path that they're taking here.
Quite a slow game around the map, definitely playing in Curse's favor. Just 50 CS to the top laners at 15 minutes. Dominate, giving a little hell over to Helios with the smite out on the Wraith camp. And their item thresholds, you know, head and shoulders above right now. If they can get a good fight for themselves. We'll see if they can get into that. Curse is moving down to the bottom lane. We still got quite a bit of time on Dragon, so this is for a bit of a push.
Yeah, so even though Jinx has finished the Infinity Edge now, really it doesn't start to become a big issue until he can combo that with another item. Infinity Edge really just ups the scaling, ups the value of buying crit on your AD carry. So the next item for Altec will be extremely valuable. Right now, can't afford to fight people.
Scrying Orb used out there just above them to make sure they are quite safe. And it looks like they don't have anybody coming in. So now EG is trying to repair this pressure, adapt to it. A third outer turret taken down by Curse as they build that gold lead. It's not too much just yet. Definitely something, or I should say nothing, a Dragon can't put back in order for EG.
Yeah, we'll see how well EG can hold on, because they would like to have their solo laners scale up here. Ryze and Kayle can become beastly, but they're not given any time here. Curse is doing a great job keeping up the pressure. This is a very strong rotation, an actual rotation from bottom up to mid here. They get another turret. Very good play here so far from Curse. See if they can actually keep up this pressure, though.
Yep. Sometimes something they get themselves into trouble with, but that's when they're trying to pressure from behind. Here it should be smooth sailing. They got the wards out. Got wards also in the inventory, a few pinks, a lot of greens, and they are looking to get more map control. Right now, it's actually pretty lit up for them to start. They just don't even have any reason to get into the side of EG's jungle. 2 minutes on Dragon. They already got that pinked out. It looks like EG's just pushing out their lanes to prep as well.
And Curse are doing a good job, too. I like how they're building a lot of cooldown reduction on their crowd control members. Both Xpecial and Dominate, even Voyboy with his Athenes. The more cooldown reduction, the more of these stuns that they can throw out mean that they can lock down these really good scaling, but actually quite squishy in the early and mid-game champions that Evil Geniuses are running.
If you get, like you said, if Jinx doesn't get a kill, Ryze, Jinx, and Krepo on Morgana are quite immobile, so stick after stick, it's going to be very hard to get away from.
Yeah, we'll see how on point Krepo can be with his black shield.
Yeah.
Because those will be crucial.
It's always a fun little mid-game.
These CC teams have become even stronger in 410 with the increased cost of Mikhail's Crucible.
Yeah.
A lot of the supports taking way longer to get that Mikhail's Crucible nowadays, so much harder to get people out of picks. And thus, the battle over vision has increased in importance as well, because that's the only way to avoid getting picked off nowadays.
That was a good fight. That was a good back and forth. I definitely put their all into that one. We'll see. It looks like it may just be that Infinity Edge coming out after for Triss. Zerk Greaves as well. Quas buys a quick Banshees to get himself saved up. A little bit of InnoX harass, keep this lane pushing and not be worried about getting knocked out. 10-9 in that lane. There's been InnoX getting a little bit of the lead in CS, so you can see kind of how that plays out, but they didn't get matched up, so it's not really the truthful matchup.
Kayle is actually very strong at split pushing as well, so InnoX is going to be pretty happy with the situation of the game right now. See if this 4 seconds on Dragon. Looks like he's just going to walk down. They're going to try and burn the teleport of Quas, since they were able to shove the lane so quickly with Kayle's AoE. Take a quick advantage here.
Good move with Cop on Dragon and a Blade of the Rune King. That thing should go down quite fast. Actually not even able to get to it. Helios finds Cop. There's the Blade. That's the kiting that he needs. A few more shots. That's the Mikhail's. But now do they have enough to turn the fight? Not with Helios that low, apparently. Pobelter's going to get up. The jump in. The first blood going over to Cop. Turning Trist into that carry earlier than usual. InnoX is going to be the next one. Kayle's ultimate of intervention is already down. And Krepo just tries to get a few more bits of damage in as EG heads for base.
Yeah, great catch by Curse there. Pobelter did not get to use a single spell before he went down here. So Cop, as we said, he comes up big with his Blade of the Ruin King build. Very, very effective early on versus Helios there. 1 versus 1 with jungler. Yeah, Helios opens up on Quas here, or on Cop, but then he takes a lot of damage in return. What have I done?
And then the Kale's
huge mistake.
The intervention's out.
Yeah, intervention down just means we're going to stun you up with everything that we brought. And Cop does jump forward, playing aggressive on that Tristana. Xpecial, yeah, he misses one there. Wow, cameraman slowed it down just so he could see.
Those blades of grass are really big. Sometimes you just can't see coming out of the brush. 20 minutes on the clock. Looks like the blue buff easily transferred over to Voyboy. These guys having a great time right now in this game. Curse up by 4,000 gold in this matchup now. And 4.10 has not been nice to teams that are down in gold. Not at all. Once you have that lead, teams have been able to carry it quite good.
And we've seen how effective their chain CC has been.
Oh, man. The concussive blows was kind of just the cherry on the cake there. I was like, why isn't Ryze moving? Never. Cocoon after, scat of the week. Like you said, Kobe, it's coming in great.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of get carried away with scaling, this scaling that gets thrown around a lot. And a lot of times they just think about how damage scales and not necessarily utility scaling. We'll see here, though, because Curse are also going to bring the damage now. Gold advantage translates into extra items. Voyboy gets a needlessly large rod, almost able to complete his death cap here. So he's going to have enough. Whoa! Enough damage, but not enough defense.
That was a hit up on both sides. We see Krepo went down a little bit ago. Looks like a room prison into Altec's attacks was able to take down Voyboy. They're slowly moving themselves.
So Krepo goes down for that kill, by the way.
Right, yeah, he did get it, yeah.
I think it was a flash in for an...
he hit it right over the minion.
Yeah, okay. So binding into flash ult sacrifices his life for the mid laner. And you can see that reaction ult from Voyboy. If you're going to take me down, I'm taking you with me.
It's a big Altec right now. 203 with an assist on top of that. Tristana already getting more of that crit and attack speed, so that's only going to hurt. Doesn't even really need any armor pen just yet either, because nobody has armor on the side of Curse.
Ooh, see if this bush gank works out, though. I don't know if all this success has gone to Cop's head. How far will he push?
Well, saying if you can get a good zap on, let's start off a nice hit. See the movement of Cop as well. He just wants Wraith. He's not going to come back for any silly 1v1s. The gold gap closing just slightly. Just slightly.
Yeah, and if Evil Geniuses can hold on, they still do have all these champions that are going to be great later.
And tough, but
I mean, we've already got Infinity Edge. He's starting to build those second items. He's piling on a lot of crit now to back it up. Plus, Ryze has completed both of his scaling mana items, so those are slowly ticking up. Evil Geniuses, the curve on their power graph right now increase very quickly.
Pings out, trying to get control over Dragon. We'll see what Pobelter can do with his team coming in here. We saw the intervention used out last fight on Helios. Immediately, his aggression brought him to Cop. So we'll see if the chaos can be kind of toned down by Evil Geniuses if they get pushed into a next Dragon fight. Right now, both teams just soaking up experience, getting ready for that next fight. Not much to push, Kobe. The lanes are all evened out.
Pretty good ward coverage as well here for Curse deep in this blue side jungle. We'll see if they want to continue to control the respawn of these blues. Definitely want to keep that away from any double AP team. Also, side benefit of controlling the Baron area. Great for baits.
Yeah. Doing a great job trying to dictate something in their favor. Really cause EG to be the one to dance around. Good positioning for Curse. Not a whole heck of a lot of damage. The Blade of the Ruin King would help if they went onto Baron, but a little too risky. So they stay off. Helios just on the outside, scaring off Cop. A little bit of a stalemate. Nobody wants to make a move. Usually, as I just said, Curse, when they're kind of ahead, will push themselves into something that seems a little dangerous. Okay. Never mind.
Baron Pit is a little dangerous.
It's a little dangerous.
Dare Curse to go for this, though. They send down Kayle bottom. This puts the crunch on Curse. It makes Curse have to make a decision right now. They commit to Baron, but it deals so much damage.
Out of the fog of war, you see how much damage Dominate took. They weren't really giving the damage back and forth. Altec's on the outside. A flash from Quas tries to shut him down, but he flashes and nobody else can get that kind of gap close. It's Altec on the backside. What does Altec do in fights? He crushes with the rest of the team. He hits the stab. He flashes in for the double kill. Altec going crazy this fight. A triple kill. Yeah, it's going to Pobelter, though, because he's a good guy.
What a move from Evil Geniuses. InnoX teleports in with his intervention on him. We always talk about the timing for this Kayle ult. He's right in the middle of this cursed team, but they all have to run away because he's invulnerable. What a move from Evil Geniuses, forcing Curse to commit to something by sending InnoX bottom. They're rewarded with Baron on top of it. Beautiful play.
Wow, 24-minute bring it Baron.
Here comes InnoX, right in the middle of the whole team, but he's invincible. Cop is shooting at him, 0 damage done. Quas actually had to soak up the damage, and he goes down fast. Zap into Flash here from Altec. Tip of the cork. Nabs dominate, and they're easily able to chase him down. The speed of both Ryze and Jinx. What a beautiful collapse from Evil Geniuses on that Baron.
What a turnaround. Curse is trying to clean up the bits now, clear out the wards on their side of the map. Evil Geniuses, many items completed there. Looking to get the Seraph's Embrace up on Pobelter quite soon. That Rod of Ages close to nearly stacked, if not already. Rod of Ages on InnoX. A lot of burst and power grabbed up. You can see the Blade of the Rune King is going to be next for Altec as well.
Yeah, he's stacking up some lifesteal now.
Right.
On top of his crit plus Infinity Edge, because he knows he is the target here for Curse. With Curse putting a lot of money into magic resistance defense here, they know that Altec is #1 target. And since he's very low mobility with Jinx, he's going to have some sort of survivability. He's going to rely on that life steal for now.
Rest of Curse really need to start getting some kills if they can. Voyboy is the one to hold 2, and he's been quite a big focus. Also allowing Helios and Pobelter within this last fight to get Negatron cloaks. Almost nullify the fact that he can zero them out. It'll still be a lot of damage, but EG is just getting themselves every little advantage possible as this game goes on. Pushed off of this, so Curse still has the siege stop potential.
Yeah, and there is a bit of weight on Altec's shoulders right now. He knows that if he does not mess his positioning up
2,000 gold
and he stays safe, then he can rely on Ryze and Kayle to just get out of control here. Their damage is going to go off the end of the deep end here pretty soon. They keep up the pressure with this Baron buff. See how much they can actually take with this purple buff advantage.
Altec, good focus on the turret. EG with no problems getting another outer down, and all they have is top lane outer turret. They'll be right into the base. Very dominating game fight. Evil Geniuses here, seeing a lot of different things in 4.10. It seems like it's suiting them quite well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, double shields on top of Jinx late game. Sounds like a good idea. It's up to Krepo and InnoX, though. Keep him safe.
And Altec really coming through with consistency. The fight phase breaks out once again. He picks himself up some even flashy kills. They're never just kills. And he's doing it for his first time on Jinx, and it just looks like he feels so comfortable.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely no surprise that Evil Geniuses have this much faith in Altec.
Yeah,
after how he's been performing. I mean, when he doesn't get the top KDA for AD carries and second overall by, you know, any person in the league, by the way, for North America, by playing risky. So definitely well-deserved position for him.
He's got the CS to prove it too. About 50 up in that range, 2-0-3. And the team even feels comfortable moving up without him, knowing where the wards are, knowing where they can clear. Really, they don't have to worry about anything. Curse doesn't have the wards to attack at this point.
Yeah, that's pretty much the main thing EG are looking out for, a curse pick.
Yeah.
Because any curse pick can easily result in a kill. They've got plenty of damage themselves. So they can definitely catch someone if they get out of position. Tristana as well, nothing to scoff at late game here. Range increase
apparently
is going to be really, really big for them late game.
She's been picked quite a lot. Slow moving is EG. Going to go ahead and back. Locket of the Iron Solari could be finished up on 2 members here for even more shields. Or the 2 shields as well. Seraph's Embrace will then be on Pobelter. He'll have his own, and these guys can really start to work some dangerous situations. Some they've already been putting themselves in with the Baron attempt at 24 minutes. But it's all working out for him so far. Good wards, forward wards as well. And Curse caught. Going back now. He does have a few items, not really game-changing items, though. It's going to be tough for Curse in these fights.
Yeah, he's probably looking to get some extra crit before their next fight. He does get a Negatron cloak for himself because of all the magic damage. And then we see the power spike. As we talked about, that really, really big Baron fight right there. That's what going for the Baron and losing out will do to you.
Dominate and the rest of the team cleaning up what they can. So at least it's not evil geniuses. It's only making them bigger that they can farm every lane uncontested right now. It's really just Curse holding their breath, hoping they don't get picked off inside their jungle.
Yep, it's all that ward coverage. Evil geniuses feel very, very confident right now. They don't have to shove in towards inhibitor turrets yet. A little bit too risky. All they have to do is just soak up all the extra money on the map that's available to them. Good stun by Voyboy. And chain onto Altec.
Altec gets hit right out of that one quickly. They don't even use the Locket of the Iron Solari.
No damage there. That, though, was very close. Yeah. Because you could see, if you miss time, don't get your shields off on Altec. If there was damage here from Curse, that would be disastrous for the EG team. Fortunate
for him, he does have that Blade of the Ruin King finish, so he can heal back up, and they give him the blue buff as well. Keep the chase on, keep the zaps coming. Keep the switches on his rocket as well. Yep. Slow moving from Pobelter, pick up the blue. EG setting themselves up for a pretty nice push, or what should be coming up here. Voyboy, he fared well in mid lane, but he's not able to use any of that power with the amount of, how far the other lanes fell behind.
Yeah, I think it is looking pretty bad for Curse in general right now. Not even just Voyboy, because this late game Kayle is a split pushing beast. InnoX with teleport. He can shove a lane so fast, and he's so quick with the scaling move speed of his W since he's gone Rabadon's Death Cap instead of the Runon's Hurricane. He's extremely quick, as well as doing all this splash damage.
Yeah, you can't even bring the party to him.
So, yeah, Quas can't handle it. Even though Quas went all this early magic resistance, he's had to transition into a Randuin's because of the power of Altec. So he can't really handle Kayle anymore. There's not much that Curse have to deal with a late-game split-pushing Kayle who's already got the core 2 items. And it's going to be a very, very tricky maneuver for Curse to get back in this game. Dragon and Baron both up. Now it gets dangerous.
Yeah.
They're going to be forced to make a call for which objective they want to give up. They can't defend everything. They can't defend Kayle and Baron at the same time.
That split push already drawing Quas down, but the teleports are there. And they're slowly going to make their way towards the bottom side of the map as well, knowing that Curse not exactly going to be going for that Baron. Like you said, both the objectives are live. A turret just going down, or Dragon rather, going down along the top turret.
Ooh, Altec getting some defenses now too. Red Elixir plus his Negatron Cloak. It's going to be hard to take him down even if they do catch him out. Takes a pretty easy Dragon for himself there. Extra gold here for EG, and the story gets worse and worse for Curse.
This is kind of the situation Curse falls into. They even say it themselves. The calls kind of aren't followed. They'll make them, and they're unsure if you want to follow. Silence in the late game is chaos, and if a team falls into that, it gets quite hard. Right now, they're still remembering to ward, keeping the little things in mind, and now trying to prioritize getting a mistake out of evil geniuses, something they've been consistently not making this game.
Yeah, and right now, they even have top lane pushing for them with just minions. So everything right now, perfect for evil geniuses. They get the InnoX versus Quas matchup. That's easy for InnoX to kite him with. They've got the top lane killing itself on the turret, and the opportunity to try and Baron bait here.
Quite a different game from the first one we saw. You said that was 28 minutes with Curse taking down the first inhibit 26. So after they were in the base, it was quite over. Really, EG can't crack the base open just yet. They're trying on the bottom side. A good push in middle. We'll see if InnoX can pull Quas away. See if they can do it this time.
And after last week, last week was a game where Curse made a mid-game mistake, yet they still recovered from it.
Right.
Which is something that we hadn't seen from them in a long time. And it gave a lot of Curse fans hope. Good catch on Pobelter.
They get the flash out. A nice soul shackle from Krepo is able to slow and lock down a few. Altec Missing that one, but they get a nice shot and crit over to Dominate. Turrets going down to the bottom side as well. Helios and InnoX going to work there. And it looks like EG has finally broken the ice on Curse's base, and they're having fun.
Yeah, even with Curse getting that pick, they lose a man.
Helios just walks away from this. InnoX is saying, all right, let's fight. I got my intervention up.
He's resigned himself to his fate here at the hands of... Whoa!
No way! No way!
Oh, so close. Xpecial walks away. Quas has yet to finish off Kayle and almost lets him down. Okay, though. We were about to make the point where, you know, last week, Curse were able to recover from one of those mid-game mistakes, but this time, the mid-game mistake of the Baron doesn't look like they can recover from it just from the sheer power of giving away these picks. The Kayle plus Ryze plus Jinx is just too much to deal with, even with a Tristana in your back pocket.
Right, and that's been plateaued. The Negatron had to come in. It's not continuous damage coming from Tristana. And with her kind of coming out of her power curve right now, that's when you would expect the damage to be, not defense.
Very desperate Baron here for Curse, but they're taking it down quickly. And EG do not have Altec. Altec, the key member, going to be very far away. We'll see if they can actually do it.
Very big plays. Baron's down to about 4K health, 4,000 immediately right now. Still looking to fight this one. That's a pretty healthy Baron considering 4,000. No smites are going to go down. Dominate straight up into Repel. The entire team of Curse is now backing off. They did follow this call, but it seems like EG already had it in mind.
Yeah, Baron number 2 start for Curse. Baron number 2 not killed for...
Oh, wow! What a great combination. Awesomely played.
Whoa. Great bot lane accuracy
alley-oop
there. Krepo and Altec both dead on with the skill shots. That is pretty much the nail in the coffin here for Curse.
That for EG, that bottom lane, I think, has exploded as a new bottom lane more than any I've really ever seen. They have some great results when they are on fire.
Yeah, they really do, showing up extremely big this time around.
There's the first inhibitor. Like we said, when the first inhibitor goes down, the game goes quickly after. It's only 10 seconds on Dominate. They got spawns coming off the Baron, but they still have the Baron, so they'll be right back.
Yeah, and 2 inhibitors down means that you get 2 lanes of super minions buffing each other up. Pretty much Evil Geniuses just have to walk in there.
Yeah, the waiting game.
And throw a parade for the super while they take down next.
Rain on Curse's parade. Like Cop said, somebody always has a lead. It's usually your opponent.
Ouch.
See if they can change that around. It looks grim right now for Curse, but anything can happen. 11,000 gold lead is really what EG is just going to flatten Curse with as they make their way into the next base. 2K, 404 on Altec, consistently bringing through the cash out of the laning phase and into the fighting phase. Looks like it might be a Mercurial Scimitar for him as well.
Yeah, because of the Mikhail's changes, a lot of people have been going to get that, but you know, now he's got Mikhail's, plus he's got a Quicksilver Sash. Plenty of options for Altec now. There's not really much hope for Curse bringing him down in the back lane. Man, look at this Kayle though. Talking about making it hard for them to bring down Altec.
Right.
A lot of Kayles have pretty much just given up that Runon's build. It's not that popular anymore.
Okay.
Pretty much everybody's gone back to this ability power build and maybe picking up the Runons as either their 5th or 6th item. And just for the end game splash. Right now, though, he has that point that's extremely scary with Kayle, where he has so much burst.
Right.
Blue Elixir on top just means somebody's going to get in a hurting.
Scrying Orb being used out. The damage coming through if EG is to get into range. Looking at the mid lane, you know, we talked about a little earlier that Curse kind of excels one at a time, never in the same game. Voyboy, 332 to 250 with kills in the mid lane. He had a good time there, but like we said, couldn't revolve around the rest of the team. Not doing so well in the lanes. Right now they're trying to pick up the slack, stop the inhibitors from going down, but it is a stranglehold from Evil Geniuses right now. Taking control, 38 minutes. They're trying to dictate this last inhibitor turret.
Yeah, Curse missing their mid-game opportunity. Now it's going to be a very difficult road.
Slow hits. They're
back to the other side
get
of the
it.
map.
Here's these minions we were talking about, Kobe. It's going to be so hard to defend everything at once. Curse looks to turn the base into shambles, or keep their base from being turned into shambles. I should say, that's one shot. Carries the binding with him along the room prison, rather, and they continue into the fight. Xpecial, he is doing some good defense for his team, but goes down in the end. They're going to be cleaning this one up. Altec with a few more kills. A triple kill to end out the game at 7-0-4 on his first Jinx play in the North American LCS. The last shot, he gets double lift on the 5. Going for the penta. He gets the penta kill. First play on Jinx in the LCS. 13-6, 39 minutes. EG wipes out Curse.
Altec with the pentakill ending. Evil Geniuses coming out so strong here. They have wanted to separate themselves from this bottom 3 pack for a while now. Bringing in Helios, coming out with a very strong showing on 4.10. They're making a pretty good case for themselves so far here.
A lot of teams that would make 2 changes during a season would be crushed, crumbling, trying to find a way to get the communication going. But with the change at AD carry and so far a tryout at jungle, things seem to be going the right way for Evil Geniuses.
Definitely say that again. All members performing very well.
Coming out very strong.
Timely interventions from InnoX, black shields and bindings from Krepo. Good job by everybody so far. Curse, yeah, they're definitely gonna rethink that mid-game Baron there. It's a little bit rough for them. Kayle teleporting into the middle, invulnerable as soon as she arrives. Yeah. Very, very scary.
Really great play.